Hello, welcome to the Ninjutsu podcast. I'm your host, Don Rowley. We're back after a short break while I develop content. Today, we're going to talk about self defense and what the video from Scotland can teach us about it. In case you haven't heard, there was a 14-year-old girl in Scotland that was arrested for brandishing a knife, supposedly while protecting herself and a 12-year-old girl from a predator that wanted to, well, I'm not going to say it, but you can imagine what he wanted to do. Let's roll the clip.
You don't dare!
Yes, you have a knife.
You don't! Hey, I'm fucking 12 me! You're fucking batting kids!
Why you
me.
fucking with
These
us?
are fucking kid bashers!
Show the knife. Show the knife.
Get
Show
the
the knife.
fuck away from her!
Show the knife. Show the knife.
Don't touch her!
That's
Touch
it,
me.
that's
Do
it.
whatever you
Show
want
the
to
knife.
me. Don't touch my little sister!
Show the knife. That's it.
Don't fucking touch my little sister! She ain't fucking 12! We're jumping up! Where's her fucking touching me? She's fucking 12 and you just battered me, mate! Where's my fucking touching me?
Yeah, show the knife. Maratha.
Don't touch her down to me! Don't touch her!
Okay, that's the video. It's kind of gone viral, and there's a lot of differing stories about the background. So, for the American audience that might not be aware of the things going on in the UK, they are having a lot of friction between native families, going back generations, and migrants. To illustrate the point, the most common name for a male child, a baby being born today in the UK is Muhammad, which again, on the surface level, okay, so they're not traditional British families, right? But it kind of shows the fact that, Muhammad is the prophet of Islam. So you're dealing with people that are a bit more involved in the religion than, say, your typical person. I mean, if you go to someone's house and their children are all named after biblical figures, you kind of know that they're, going to church and a little bit more fanatic about being, Christian or Jewish or whatever. So Muhammad kind of shows that, but it also shows the lack of assimilation. I mean, I know couples, they're Japanese, they move to America. When they have kids, they don't name them Hiroshi or Kyosuke. It's Ken or something like that. So, naming your kid Muhammad kind of shows what's going on. And part of the problem with Islam has a problem and with PDF files, okay? Men going after children. You look at Yemen and the child brides and all that. Muhammad, the prophet, had sex with a 9-year-old girl. Her name was Aisha. She was a treaty, how should I say this? I'm forgetting the words. Basically, to cement relationships between the tribes, it was arranged marriage, political marriage. And, Muhammad announced that she had had her period, menstruating at age 9. And the custom at the time is that, these type of things, you would consummate the marriage once the child started menstruating, having her seasons. So, well, most Muslims would probably say, well, that was probably a very special circumstances. 9-year-olds do not get that. It must have been a sign from Allah or something. But pedos are going to pedo. And that's all the excuse they need. You look at them, going after a 12-year-old and say, well, Muhammad, are you saying Muhammad's bad? They're going to use any excuse, not a reason, an excuse. And so the UK has had problems with what's called grooming gangs. And these are men, mainly from Muslim countries, who, well, various cases. I mean, I'm sure there's some where they just found like a girl and made her a girlfriend voluntarily. But I've also heard a story about how a young girl, very young girl, was lured to a flat where there's a bunch of men and they did things to her where they recorded it. And then they blackmailed her with that video saying they're going to show it to her friends and family and all that unless she voluntarily became the toy for all of them. And the thing about it is that local governments all over the place look the other way. because they didn't want to be called racist, and yeah, that's the reality. And now there's a lot of backlash, a lot of hatred towards the government that looked the other way and covered it up and actually arrested people that tried to talk about it. Okay. So tempers are high, and this is the background for this. Now, looking at what happened, well, one thing seems to be certain, that this guy was trying to pick up on a 12-year-old girl. There is a statement by the mother, and I'm going to read it and I'm going to show it. Just remember, I would not take a statement from Carmelo Anthony's family at face value after what happened to Austin Metcalf, but I'm going to read it here, okay? Yes, so what happened was the girls were out just walking. The man in the picture made comments to Lola, the younger girl, calling her sexy and other sexual remarks. Then the girls started to tell this man to leave them alone and stop following them and making sexual remarks to them. After that, the man's sister, also in the picture, came around the corner and physically attacked Ruby, the older sister. She grabbed her hair, dragged her to the floor, started to punch her. Then both the man and woman were kicking her in the head while she was on the floor. At this point, my daughter, Maya, called the police, so my daughter's account after that was all a bit blurry. But that is when Lola had the weapons. She pulled them out to protect Ruby. After that, the man came back at Lola, recording her making sure she showed the weapons to the camera and antagonizing her. Ruby was hospitalized after the attack with a severe concussion, a tennis ball sized lump to the back of the head, as well as lots of bruises. Okay, so supposedly there is a girl named Ruby that is in a hospital. I have not heard too much about that. Um, the accounts may be exaggerated. One thing that seems clear to me by the use of the term she's 12 years old, and such as, yes, there was an attempt to pick up on a 12-year-old. I am convinced of that. Do not know about the attack, do not know the circumstances. The mother's account talks about a sister, and you can hear a female voice talking to the cameraman in another language. And, well, this is a lesson in brandishing, okay? When you pull out a weapon and show it to somebody, you could be in legal trouble. And bad guys are going to be bad. If you reject them, they will beat you up and they will film you with a knife and turn it over to the police officer. And of course, they are not going to admit anything, but they've got you on film brandishing a knife. This is something to think about for self-defense. If you pull out a weapon, you have to be able to explain why you felt the need. Okay, you can't just do it and then expect to walk away. You're going to have to talk to the police. This is something that a lot of people in martial arts don't seem to understand. They think they can just pull out a gun, a knife, or something like that, and unless they actually use it, they think they're in the clear. No, it's called brandishing. Okay, it's called threatening in some cases, and in this case, if you go back through the video, okay, the guy is not scared. He is saying, "Show the weapon, show the weapon." He wants this on film. He is following her, to get her to show the weapon. Do not fall for it. I mean, this is a 14-year-old girl. She's scared. You can hear it in her voice, and you can hear the calmness in the man's voice as he's recording. When you're in this position, you're not thinking straight. You're not thinking the best. You're not sitting back in the comfort of your own home. You've got some man, you've got his sister at least, maybe some more people. We don't know. I hear different things, and they're following you. But it does not make a good case when there's a scene where she's walking away, then she turns around and comes back at the end of the video. Okay, that's in self-defense. If you can walk away, you walk away. And she did not. She started to, then she turned around. Now she's been arrested. That seems pretty clear. And there's differing reports about the cameraman. It seems to be, I do not know for certain, but it seems to be that the man was not arrested at the time. He may be arrested now after the outcry, but again, she was definitely guilty of brandishing. Okay, and it might have been justified at some point, but I think that part where she turned around and came back and was screaming at him, That's not going to look good in front of a jury. This is what you got to think about. The Japanese have a saying, "No aru taka wa tsumiaka kusu." A wise hawk hides his claws, which basically means don't show off and leave some surprise. This is especially true when it comes to weapons. Do not be eager to show that you have a weapon. Uh, if you need to, then be prepared to explain why you did it to the police later on. Because as this case shows, the bad guys are going to try to get you in trouble. I mean, how dare you turn me down? I would have given you such pleasure. You are a bad person for this. That's how they think. I mean, take a look at some of the things going on now. The victims are being blamed, and the people that victimize them, want to increase the punishment. So that's a brief little lesson. Brandishing. Look it up. Find your local laws about it, and then be careful about showing weapons in a self-defense situation. It might be best that the guy never realizes that you have a weapon until you actually have to use it. That's it for this time. In the comments section, if you got more news about the incident in Scotland, please put it down. Please ask questions. Hit like and subscribe. Give me some things to work on about this case and brandishing, because it's not talked too much in self-defense, and yet it is, as this girl who was arrested shows, it is a thing. Take care. Bye.